Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Artichoke Dip. My name is Rob, solo tabletop gamer, and in this video we're going to talk about Hexcrawl Chronicles. So before I get into this video, if you like my video, please click the like button. If you have not subscribed, please click the subscribe button followed by the little bell icon, and every time I upload a new video, you will hear about it. Guaranteed. Alright, so let's get into Hexcrawl Chronicles. And what is it? So I have heard a lot of feedback on Hexcrawl. People have asked me, have you tried Hexcrawl? Do you know what Hexcrawl is? Hexcrawl, Hexcrawl, Hexcrawl. Now, of course, I've got a huge stack of books that I'm trying to get through and read and be able to talk to you about it and explain them game systems to you. So with a lot of the questions about Hexcrawl, I kind of said, I gotta look into this. What is Hexcrawl about? So of course I jumped on Amazon and I looked around and I came across this. And I said, well, I'll start at book 1 and we'll move on from there. So I have to admit, wow, I'm very impressed actually. Really impressed, because for the solo enthusiast, this is a great series to have for your table. Now, if you're the type of solo enthusiast, you just want to play. You don't want to put forth the time of all the creation and the writing and everything else that goes into an RPG system. You just want to be able to turn a page, have some characters, and game. This will be a good system for you. If you're like me and, before I started the channel, I had a lot of time to do gaming, and then one day I said, I should make our YouTube channel and talk about solo RPG, and I wonder how many other people out there in the world enjoy solo tabletop gaming like I do. And so since this has taken off and word has gotten out there, now it's almost like I have two jobs. I have my full-time job that I go to, and then I come home and I have the YouTube thing to where I switch gears up after work and I go into reading and playing tabletop games to review, to talk to you guys about. And so when it came to Hexcrawl Chronicles and I looked at this, I'm like, wow, this is going to help me out a lot. It's really going to help me out a lot, because it takes a lot of the preformed story ideas of sitting down and I can just flip to a page and have a scenario to go straight to and play. And I love that. I love that about this. So let's jump right into Hexcrawl Chronicles and talk about it. Hexcrawl Chronicles. So what it is, in this particular one I have Valley of the Hawks by John Stater. Talks about where this story is at one time in their antiquity, these giants at that point ruled this area. They had these large hawks that they kept as pets, or I would like to say as familiars, that they were so numerous that when they would take flight would black the skies out. Now this is in antiquity, and your characters come into the story much later on into history. And as you move on from there, from the brief, we'll say, fluff story of what it's a fluff story of the map, basically, what to expect. You come to an encounter, and the encounter bracket gives you 3 columns: the Badlands, the Grasslands, and the Woodland. So on a roll of a 1d6, as you enter or exit a hex, as the way that they suggested to use it in this book, you roll that. And on a 1 or a 2, you run into an encounter. So if you just entered a hex, you rolled 1d6. You rolled 1. Okay, there's an encounter. So then you go to your bracket and you cross that. Well, what if you're in the woodland? Okay, I'm going to go into the woodland and I'm going to roll a 1d12 at that point. We roll a 2, and at that point, I'm confronted with 1d6 wild boar. So it automatically gives you that surprise element of a random encounter already built into the system. It then moves on from there into the races that are most commonly encountered in this world, which are your dwarves, your elves, and of course your human, or as they like to call it, men. And they break the humans up into 3 subcategories, and those are the golden men, the north men, and then the south men. And when you read the descriptions, it explains the differences between their physical appearances and some of the attributes they have at that point. Now, when I say attributes, I don't mean the actual rolling the attribute for the character. What I mean is one particular one is more tribal and nomadic, whereas the other one is a little bit more higher society, if you will. Basically how they break that down to you. So it gives you a little bit of freedom there for your NPCs, or if you wanted to create your own character using an OSR system that would be completely compatible, like Whitebox with this, which would work seamlessly with it, you could. Now, you come to another bracket, which is your rumor bracket. So it takes into account as you are adventuring through the hex crawl, you're going to come across taverns and other settlements at that point where you're going to run into NPCs. And with those NPCs at that point, you're going to roll a 1d20. Heck, let's see, for a rumor, which is your rumor bracket. I got my 1d20. Let's see what rumor is spreading around. Huh. They say Lord Drac is hiring mercenaries for a great campaign. Now, when they break up the rumors, they break it up into 2 areas. The rumors are true or the rumors are false. And when you look at the bracket, it's going to, at that point, put that in there and tell you with a T it's true or an F it's false. And then some of them have a T/F, so it's true or it could be false. I guess it just all depends on who's telling you what time of day it is. So that's a little interesting twist. They give you a rumor bracket there that you can also incorporate in with your NPCs and your game. Now, moving on from there, they have random caravan goods. The cool thing is they take into account that you're going to have, at that point, traveling traveling merchants is what I meant to say, from settlement to settlement with trading goods. So at that point, those random caravans are going to have various stuff on them, and they even give you a bracket for that. And some of them haul armor, some of them have alcohol, others have food, some of them are hauling silver ingots, others have spices, and then of course weapons, because a character can never have too many weapons, can they? No. So then it gets straight into the map, which is the most interesting part that I want to talk about and really show you where the beauty of this book comes in here. So Valley of the Hawks looks like this. This is the map, and I know it may not look like much, and it's going to be, even if I had a way better camera, it would be very hard to show you this, but every single hex has a number attached to it. Now, depending on where your characters are at in this map, you'd look at the number on the hex, and you would go to that heading in the book right here, and it would give you a brief description of what to encounter. And some of these are really, really cool. And for the solo player, if you want to sit down and play a quick scenario, or if you want to make something into a larger campaign, let's take a look at one of these and see what it has to offer. So this is Hex 1309, and it reads, in a smoldering clearing you find a dozen charred hovels surrounded what looks like a large circular barn made of fieldstone. This was once a dairy where mechanical milkmaids made delicious cheeses. The dairy was struck by 2 terrible misfortunes. The first was a fire that roared through the area many years ago. The second was that unknown to the milkmaids, the cellar where they kept their wheels of sweet cheese harbored brown mold, which is the presence of heat spreads rapidly. The mold killed the human owners of that dairy and the milk cows. Their frozen corpses remain to this day. But the automation still go about their business, dragging any mammal they can find into the barn to be milked and freezing them in the process. Wow. The milkmaids are bell-shaped, made of bronze, and move via wheels in their under chassis. They have porcelain faces and are painted as though in traditional garb. You could do a lot with that as a solo enthusiast. You essentially could create a whole entire campaign based off of that in that one particular little hex, or you could use it as a quick, small solo session, and it all depends on your gaming taste and what you want to do with it. And that's how the rest of the book goes. As you go through exploring the map, you cross-reference that number in the book and read the heading, and at that point, you have your adventure. Now, for me, and with everything I have going on right now, work is getting real busy. Matter of fact, they bumped us up to 6 days a week now. So my time of having that leisure time on Saturdays to be able to sit down and spend, half a day writing out a entire RPG scenario, well, I just don't have that anymore. So now I'm limited to 1 day of gaming. And this book is a real gem for that. Because here's the nice thing about this system that I've noticed going through this. Now, like I said, you could use this with a system like this, and it's going to operate seamlessly. And you're going to have a lot of fun with it. But if you play other RPGs, like I do, Ruin Quest, Palladium, Rollmaster, just to name a few, what I would do at that point is turn straight to the map and just start using that. Using the system to integrate my own encounters in this area, and so on and so forth, and it should work seamlessly as well. I don't see any issues as to why it wouldn't. And it's just a great overall system that I see. And for a solo enthusiast, this truly is a great tool to have in your arsenal as a solo RPGer. And I have to say, reading through it, I was really blown away as to how simple it is. It's a simple read. Everything's presented to you simply. It's very easy to pick up, comprehend, understand, and get right into it and start gaming. And that's the beauty of it. So when it comes to ranking this book, where do I rank this on a scale 1 to 10? Well, for a solo tabletop gamer like us, and that's what my channel is about, I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10. This is a actually really great book to have at your arsenal, and if you get stumped with an idea, or if you're just looking to drop a really good storyline into one of your campaigns to freshen things up, breathe some fresh air into it, you can do it with this by just turning to a page, picking a number and reading it, and it's already pre-generated and put right in for you just to shake things up a little bit. Or if you're just starting a new tabletop system, now you're trying to get the rules under your belt and you're trying to get all these things figured out, and now you got to put forth that daunting work to be able to get the whole thing going. With this, you could just flip to it, go straight into it with your random tables in your system, and start playing. And I have to admit, Hexcrawl Chronicles, with everything that I've heard and people, asking me, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried this? What do you think? I have to admit, it's a great system, and I like it, and it's going to find a home on my shelf. Now, they offer more than this. They have quite a few books out for Hexcrawl Chronicle, and over a short amount of time, I'm going to say I'm probably going to collect the rest of them and put them on my shelf to have there. This book, realistically, is going to give you hours and hours of fun and enjoyment right here The replayability of it is huge. And the fact that it's so simple that any RPG system, fantasy RPG system, is be easily converted to this for use. It's a good system, I have to admit. I'm very happy with it. So, with that being said and out of the way, I just want to take a moment to thank all of you guys out there so much for subscribing to my channel and your great comments, your everything that you give me. It, tell you what guys, it really, really, really does make me want to keep making videos, keep going ahead, and keep doing what I am doing. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. And for my new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. It's the reason what keeps the videos going. There's this, I think, large, how do I put this? Large misconception out there that if you have a YouTube channel and you make YouTube videos that you must automatically, you know, gain this large amount of wealth from doing this. And the fact is, no, that's not the truth at all. I have not, be honest with you, received a single dime off of my YouTube channel for what I have done. And I'm not complaining about that because I enjoy talking to you guys and I enjoy you guys interacting with me and giving me your thoughts and your ideas and new game systems, saying, hey Artichoke, have you checked this out yet? I love that. I love that. But the point I'm trying to get to is every time somebody subscribes, every time somebody gives me a thumbs up, that's supporting me. That's the support I need. The monetary kind, that's a rabbit hole that I'm not even going to try to chase because so many people try to chase that and they lose so much. The one I'm looking for is the ones where people give me the thumbs up and they say, that's an awesome video, thanks a lot, man. And that right there makes my day. So, with that being said, I think I'm going to end this video. And before I do, if you liked the video, please click the like button. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Click the bell icon and you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Alright, with that being said, Artichoke dip out.